How's it going? Listen, I'm coming back to you with another installment of the weekly rap series where I get down to last week's releases, I explore each one, and then at the end, I pick the winner, aka what I thought was the best project, and I do a full-on review of it. So let's get straight into it. All right, first project is Da Baby's Blame It On Baby. Listened to it once, didn't care, wouldn't recommend. Now let's move on. The next project that I want to talk about is Buddy and Kent Jams' Jank Tape Volume 1. I thought it was okay. If you're a really big fan of that Chicago alternative rap style, then I guess I would recommend it. I wouldn't say that this project really stood out for me. The next project is The Dreams Sex Tape 4. If you want to hear really interesting and experimental songwriting, go listen to this Dream project, or actually any Dream project. If you want to see what I mean, go ahead and go listen to Ecstasy. Ecstasy's production and just the composition is just out of this world. It'll throw your head into a loop while simultaneously providing you with some incredible bedroom jams. Definitely check that project out. The next project is Ella Hale's Room 206 EP. This project is a vibe for sure. If you want to relax in the morning, this is your go-to project this week. I would, it's been in my morning rotation. But yeah, I would recommend this project. Honestly, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this video. Here is my top 4. Division's Muse In Her Feelings. Westside Gunn's Pray for Paris. Rina Sawayama's Sawayama. And Fiona Apple's Fetch the Boltcutters. Division's Muse In Her Feelings. Probably the worst time to drop this project because right now is the worst time to be simping, especially since we can't see each other. This project will get you in your feelings for sure and get you thinking about that special someone that you shouldn't be thinking about. All I'm trying to say here is, man, what a body of work. Next one is Westside Gunn's Pray for Paris. This is probably my favorite Westside Gunn project. Probably more than Fly God. The features on this thing killed it here as well. When Benny, Conway, and Westside Gunn are exchanging bars, that was insane to me. Yeah, did you know Jay Versace produces? You probably recognize his face, but he produced Versace off this thing. He is extremely talented. This project was phenomenal to me. Rina Sawayama's Sawayama. Yo, if you want to hear songs that mix together explosive metal sounds with the rhythmic Y2K pop sounds of, let's say, a Britney Spears or Backstreet Boys, this is your project, man. Like this. And even if you're not a fan of these things coming together, I promise you that this album will make you a fan. Man, what a debut from Rina Sawayama. And then let's get to Fiona Apple's Fetch the Boltcutters. By the third song, which is a title track, it was already blowing my mind. I needed to sit down and really process what I was hearing here. This project is probably going to end up in, as a lot of people's #1 album of the year. Pitchfork gave it a 10, a perfect 10. They haven't done so since My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. But you know what? Honestly, we shouldn't put too much stock into Pitchfork reviews. They've had some pretty questionable ones, especially with their Chicago bias. But you know what? I did check, and Fiona Apple is actually from New York. So, I mean, I guess there isn't that Chicago bias, but still. This project's going to be one of my favorite projects of the year. So, you know what? Now that I went down all 4 of these albums, I'll get into what I thought was the best project. So, drum roll, please. The winner is Rina Sawayama's Sawayama. Pray for Paris and Division. I like those two projects, but let's be real. No, they were not going to be the number one drop, especially when you have two powerhouses such as Rina Sawayama and Fiona Apple dropping. Let's make that clear. Fiona Apple, let's not get twisted. Her project is probably going to be one of my favorite of this year, but Sawayama, man, I couldn't stop listening to that project the whole weekend. So let's get right into it. I guess before I do that, I'll give a little bit of a synopsis of Rina Sawayama. She was born in Japan, grew up in the UK. In 2017, Rina dropped a little EP called Rina, and now she is back. She has hit us with Sawayama. Leading up to the release of this project, she dropped an incredible video for the song Shut the Fuck Up. She actually dropped a video for Excess as well. We'll get into those two tracks throughout this review, but let's get right into it. The first track off here is Dynasty. Wait, why did I say it like that? It's Dynasty. This intro makes you feel like you're about to embark on this epic journey in the beginning. It's like a credit sequence for a whole grandiose CGI movie. It's wow, what a crazy intro. It transitions into a very metal driven section, and that part is like, it has so much oomph to it. Like it's great. And oh wow, what a track to start off with. And beyond the sound of it, the messaging on here is insane. She talks about intergenerational pain and, you know, how she's going to be free of the burden of the suppressed pain that, as let's say, a Japanese person carries with themselves. And in Japanese culture, you know, it's very common to not express how you're feeling and sort of bury that within you. Right here, you have Rina basically saying that I'm going to break away from this cycle, and whatever the consequences are, that's going to be my dynasty. She's basically implying is whether it's the right or wrong thing, she's just, you know, going to own up to it. That is something that we all have to come to terms with without being self-hating, because there's a difference between doing that and fully denouncing your culture. And I think Rina here, just from a messaging standpoint, she really starts it off with the bang, and this thematically will follow us throughout the album. And let's move on to the next track. Excess is a song about essentially that, excess and capitalism, how it's destroying our planet. Throughout this whole song, she's really digging deep into human wants and desires and talking about all of these amazing things. This song is crazy because it sounds like a early Britney Spears, somewhat late Aaliyah track, but then it's periodically interrupted by these downward and roaring new metal guitars. And it's crazy. This song is nuts. The polished pop sound represents excess as this desirable and opulent ideal. When the guitars come in, it's like the wild and destructive consequences are rearing its ugly head temporarily, and you kind of get an image of that. But then having it short kind of represents people's attention spans towards it. You can have things like the Australian fire and people freak out for a second, but they forget right away. And people carry on with their destructive habits, needs, and desires. And that's what's brilliant about this song, man. I really love this song. Watch the video. And speaking of videos to watch, Shut the Fuck Up is the next track. What a crazy way to transition, because you get from partial nu metal guitars to full on just nu metal craziness on the next one. Watch the video. It's actually quite humorous. You know, it starts off with a white guy basically asking her dumbass questions, and it's something that for a very, very long time I didn't really understand. And then at some point, maybe around 2017-ish, I would say Asian men started getting fetishized. And, you know, Crazy Rich Asians, shouts out to that movie, but it didn't really help as well. All these fetishizing ass women want their own Henry Golding, bro. Like, that's not me, man. That's not me. And also, stop asking me about my culture on the first date. That's fucking weird. No, I will not speak Japanese to you. I personally think it's the much needed response towards the fetishization of Asian women. And the line, "How come you don't respect me, expecting fantasies to be my reality," really drives this home. That's a thing which with fetishization, a lot of people fail to realize, is that the other person is mostly attracted to the race rather than the person themselves. And that can make you feel you don't truly exist as a human in their eyes. Well, that's where the frustration of fetishization comes in. It's gross. Phenomenal way to start a project. And then we get Comme des Garçons. Holy god damn. This bass line of do 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 do. This hits hard. Like, I can't wait to hear this at a function. This song recruits Bram Inscore and Sarah Morier. They actually produce for Britney as well. So I didn't know this before I listened to the song for the first time, but Comme des Garçons means like the boys. I mean, she repeats this after she says Comme des Garçons, like the boys, like the boys. She spends her time on this track essentially mocking toxic masculinity, and it's the way that she describes toxic masculinity in the pre-chorus is so wildly absurd, and it's perfect as a representation for toxic masculinity. It's great. Would recommend this song as well. Ooh, and dude, and then she gets to Akasaka Sad. This track, she's exploring themes of being in a different place won't change things. Sometimes we can feel as if being in the homeland will make us more happy, whether because of childhood memory. We could think that it could bring us some sort of connectedness in a way, but if we're feeling lonely somewhere else, we can feel it there too. You know, this song has a very pop and R&B sound to it, although interestingly enough, it sounds like a mix of Evanescence and Timbaland. Yo, I really like this track. Paradisen. The Paradisen, how Rina described it is she actually wanted this song to sound like a TV show theme song to her own life. It kind of reminds me of like an early 2000s TV show. It's essentially about how she was driving her parents crazy while she was growing up. This line is hella ignorant. It goes, "Then you threatened to send me to boarding school for the 7th time. I know we can't afford that, so I'm fine." What an ignorant ass line. I love it. It's great. Yo, this is great. Also in the second verse, you know, it's actually based on a true story where her mom did hack into her MSN and try to find out where she was. Let's move on to Love Me For Me. It's a very introspective record, talking to herself in a way. It's a New Jack Swing pop record about self-love and self-empowerment. Like I said before, that New Jack Swing pop style is one that Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys had at the very start of their careers. The messaging of this song is basically taken from a line that RuPaul said, which is, if you don't love yourself, how can you expect to love someone else? And that's very fucking true. And then the next song we get into is Best Friend. This track is a sweet ode to a friend that she lost due to Rina's own neglect. What's interesting here is that in this song, she talks about how while she was in Tokyo, she was singing karaoke, specifically Carly Rae Jepsen with this friend. She's working with a producer named Kyle Shearer, who has actually worked with Carly Rae Jepsen in the past. And, you know, while they were making this record, they actually discovered that. It's a really, really sweet ballad that's honestly relatable to many, because as we grow older, we grow apart from many of our friends that we considered very close at the time. And also, man, the way that she stacks her vocals with the vocoder on here, excellent. I approve of this track. Let's move on. You know, it's basically about corporate greed and how humans are draining the planet of its resources for selfish reasons. And what I found was really nice about this track is that it had a hint of optimism at the end. Yeah, this song has a sort of modern pop aesthetic to it. It's a really, really nice break from everything, and it serves its purpose as an interlude very effectively. I really like this track, and it's not because the title interlude adds a bonus of +2 points for me. That's not, nah. I genuinely did really like this song. And then the next song that we get into, it's like we get a full-on stadium rock song here, and the beginning synth kind of sounds like the last boss of a video game almost. I mean, of course it has like a very like 80s epic aesthetic to it. It almost sounds like a 90s RPG. What a spectacular way to start a song, man. Like this song right here it's massive. It's massive. This song, she's talking to basically the people that have wronged her throughout her life and kind of reminding people they can get back in there. Just because I'm famous now doesn't mean you can sneak back into my life. That's basically what she's saying. This song makes you feel like you're a part of a massive live concert at the end of a movie. She was inspired to create the sound after watching Bohemian Rhapsody. And you can see that. It's epic, and yo, I would love to see her perform this one day after all this is over. I feel like that should be a hashtag. That's something that everyone says now. After all this is over. Can we start that hashtag after all this is over? Yeah, let's get it trending. Let's get it trending right now. I don't know if it's already trended, if I'm already too late here, but hey, fuck it, man. Let's do it. So the next song is Tokyo Love Hotel. Wow. I think this song right here is my favorite song on this thing. How it talks about visitors disrespecting Tokyo and Japanese culture, and she suggests that people don't really care about the people that are living there. You know, and she was also inspired to write this song due to loud tourists while out in Shinjuku. I also love the metaphor of these people's relationships with Tokyo like a casual affair at a love hotel. What she's saying is that people have a very surface level experience with it. They don't truly know how difficult it is to live within that society and don't bother to learn about it. What I love about it is that she explores the duality of her identity. Remember in How in Bad Friend, how she's talking about the Tokyo trip that she had while she was young and how they were singing through the streets and how they were being loud and obnoxious? Well, she actually refers back to that by saying at the end of the hook, "Is this another song about Tokyo?" Right then and there, she's having a very introspective moment of, oh, am I feeding into it as well? She's there thinking, this is messed up. You can't do this to a place that I'm from. Also, she's acted like one of these outsiders. And that's what I love about this song, man, is the nuance. You know, as somebody that grew up in Canada but strongly identifies with being Japanese, this song hit right here, man. It's yeah. And also the synths here are very nostalgic, have this like glitz and sheen to it. Should remind you of Tokyo's bright lights in the nighttime. This glitzy and polished sound of this production makes it feel like you're walking through Shibuya at night. It has this nostalgic feel to it, as if she's pulling from that distant memory. And I love how she uses this sound to set up for the premise. It's great. It's brilliant. Yeah. Highly recommend this track. So we get to Chosen Family. At first, I was very confused by this song. I don't know why. Like, oh, are you calling your fan base a Chosen Family? But after listening to it like another 3-4 more times, where I was like, oh, this is an ode to the LGBTQ community. How everybody is a part of this chosen family because everyone there is going through the same struggle of discrimination and marginalization in society. And I love how sweet this is. It's just, I want to sway while like holding up a lighter and just kind of. Yeah, it's such a feel-good song, man. You know what? It's probably my least favorite song on here, but I still like it. I don't think there's a single song that I dislike off this project. And finally, we get Snakeskin. It takes a very different direction compared to any of the other songs. It has a very dark and modern electro pop sound. After listening to this song about 6 or 7 times, I think what it's about here is Rina is shedding a part of her racial identity. And then people have commodified it essentially and now are wearing it about like a handbag. As, you know, an Asian person growing up in North America or let's say Europe or anywhere else, you know, in order to fit in most of the times, especially in communities where it's predominantly white, you're forced to denounce your culture. You know, I could be wrong here, but the lines, buy my expensive, exclusive pain, wear my fine couture is your branded repayment. I tear my soul into two so you can pretend despair. Let's take it back to the ending line. That honestly really drives us home because that is the melody of when you win a battle in Final Fantasy. And that goes back to what this song is talking about, Japanese culture and how it was stripped away from her. Now it's someone else's. And that's powerful. It's an awesome way to frame that because that kind of thing is hard to explain for me. Why appropriation at times can feel fucked up. Growing up, we were taught to denounce it, when in reality, that culture is so beautiful and it should have been preserved and celebrated and elevated. I love the energy behind this project, the messaging and how she tackles these subjects that oftentimes aren't discussed by a lot of people. Like, I love that. And the sound of this is such a perfect vessel for this project because most of the sounds on here are from the early 2000s. And you know, that it's brilliant because a lot of what she's saying has to do with the trauma from around that time. It kind of allows you as a listener to dive into the psyche of Rina by having a sort of retro-ish early 2000s sound to it. It transports you back into that time and it can help you contextualize things much, much better. Yo, I said that Giveon's project was probably my favorite project. This project easily bumps this off that. This right here is definitely my favorite project. I love this body of work. Shouts out to Rina for creating this. This easily gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I think like a mid 9. I'll introduce mids in here. Mid is not mid, people. Like I said, man, my favorite drop of this week. Yeah, incredible. Incredible body of work. You should listen to it. This has been the weekly wrap. And I am Naoto Wakabayashi. And also don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video. That goes a long way. We just hit 25 subs. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. 25 sub celebration. The next milestone will be 100. I'm looking forward to that. So let's get right up there, man. What'd you think about the releases this week? Is there anything that you liked? Anything that I missed about the other projects? Anything I missed about Rina's project? Let me know. Much love, everybody. Peace.